As I mentioned, some niche technologies and capabilities were employed. So our loiter munition and killer drone strike at PF. At Udhampur, you can see this was their complex and command and control, magnified before and after. It's not there. Now these kind of pictures, loads of pictures are there for targets. So I need not to show them. They were saying it themselves, as you saw on the montage. So PF's response remained very effective, very potent, and very effect-based. Slide. Time and place of own choosing, displaying bold, aggressive, and unwavering resolve of military leadership. Now I must take a moment to mention what kind of a pressure you have when this kind of a conflict arises, and I must appreciate the leadership, both the Chief of the Army Staff and Chief of the Air Staff, both. They were both very resolute and very clear in giving instructions to all of us who are the players towards the Navy, Army, and the Air Force. And that is perhaps the reason we were so sure about it, what we have to do. In speed and direction, sometimes you have to prioritize direction more than the speed. So we had the correct directions to follow. Slide. With unprecedented reach, precision, lethality, while avoiding collateral, as we have seen in the video montage. PF hit maximum number of IF airfields in a single operational package since 1971, because they crossed the international border since that, so we had to do that. Slide. While re-establishing deterrence, Pakistan negated the setting of a new normal under the hegemonistic design of a supremacist regime through swift and effective response. Slide. On a closing note, from Pakistan Air Force, PF remains committed to ensure Pakistan's airspace sovereignty and pursue peace with strength. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, after these presentations, you can understand that Army, Air Force, and Navy, the tri-service synergy that was exhibited, and all the three services acted jointly like one body. And just a mention on the air bases that were targeted by the Indians. We have the post-damage assessment report from all. There has been certain infrastructure damage. Of course, there has been. Only one aircraft has minor damage, which will be repaired and soon operational again. So, because the air defense system of Pakistan worked efficiently and very effectively. A few examples of that have been given to you by the AVM Aurangzeb. The drones that came in, 84 was shot and they never went back. And we also promise you that they can send anything. Whatever they will send, it will not go back. So that's a promise also that we kept. So now we can start with the question and answer. And before that, we again first bow our heads in humility to Almighty Allah for giving us this great success, and the people of Pakistan for the support that was with the armed forces. And the armed forces and the people of Pakistan were one body again. They worked together for thwarting this threat against this motherland. So we can have the first question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. This is Sumaira Khan from Sama Television. And first of all, let me convey the pulse of the nation as well. They obviously they cannot reach you in person, every one of them, but the heart of felicitation is indeed with you from the masses of Pakistan, specifically youth, you mentioned very rightly. My question is, in that whole span of escalation, the Indian government had been issuing extremely provocative statements regarding initiation of war, and not just the government, but unfortunately their media was also, to me it seemed very war frenzy. And but in that whole time, in the meanwhile, I saw Pakistani side and I saw you very defensively responding to all the hegemony and Indian aggression. So I just wanted to know that it was part of your strategy. What was that? Or you never wanted that escalation to rise to all those levels? And a quick comment from Aurangzeb as well, that the multi-domain, how would you elaborate it? How did you incur it in the PS strategy to kill the Indian side in the battlefield? Thank you.
So as far as question to the escalation is concerned, let me say it. The reality is that in a conflict which is between two rival nuclear powers, such a conflict is actually an absurdity, and it is inconceivable and sheer stupidity. Why? Because that conflict can lead, in the case of Indo-Pakistan, India-Pakistan, can lead to the peril of more than 1.6 billion people. So, in reality, there is no space for war between India and Pakistan. And if anyone wants to carve out this space for war, he is actually carving out space for mutual annihilation. So that is why you saw that in this conflict, Pakistan acted in a very mature manner. And through conventional forces, we maintained escalation control. Through conventional forces, we gave them a two-notch up response, while also ensuring that these forces, the Pakistan Army and the other forces that were employed on the Western Front, on the counter-terrorism operations, no pull is also exerted on them. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay, you just asked regarding the multi-domain operations. It's a very, very good question, because this is the buzzword nowadays. But it's not actually something in air. It's an actual real milestone for PEF. The warfare has changed drastically, and so has everything that is associated with it. It's not the erstwhile concept where you can just get the number of aircraft in air and see. It's called a new AMSO, the electromagnetic spectrum operations. It's a whole new environment that is there. And everything that is regarding Air Force and in the air, it's concerning the electromagnetic spectrum. Now, air supremacy has to be preceded by a spectrum supremacy. And if you control the spectrum, you control the conflict. So Pakistan Air Force, and especially this is a thing that is pursued so vigorously by Chief of the Air Staff, that we have to have that spectrum warfare capability. And you saw how we manifested it. It is a combination of EW, space, cyber, air, land, and sea, command, control, communication, infrastructure, information. All these things, they are in the wider spectrum of electromagnetic operations. And that is how you create an environment. You create an EW web that you manifest in the whole operations. It has to be choreographed at each step, and when to administer what. And it has to be preconceived. I mean, you can't do it randomly, and you cannot just do it on your whims. So you have to understand the whole idea and whole architecture. It might get pretty technical, but multi-domain operations is the need of the day, and all those air forces who kind of relegate it, they end up in the wrong side of the barrel. So Pakistan Air Force prioritizes it. We have our own Spectrum Warfare Operations Center, which is controlling the even in a small battle or an engagement to a larger campaign. Because now all the players who are there, all aircraft, They have so much of sensors, and there's so much of fusion going on, the data links, the software-defined radars, they're all thriving on the electromagnetic spectrum or being challenged by it. So each player is taking a campaign-level decision, the kind of information he is having. And if he doesn't get that information, he is redundant. So electromagnetic warfare is the need of the hour, and multi-domain operations is what carries you, propels you to perform and achieve the mission success with mission survivability, denying the same to the enemy. Thank you.
My name is Kiran. I'm from the Khorasan Diary. Sir, I have two questions on what basically I need confirmation. Is that one, when President Trump tweeted about the ceasefire, they said that Pakistan and India can talk in a third country. और अभी जो शाम में इंडियन अथॉरिटीज़ की मीटिंग प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई है, they said that the DGMOs spoke, in which Pakistani DGMO asked for ceasefire first, and tomorrow there is a call already planned at 1200. Meanwhile, the IAF said that their operation is still continued. So what is Pakistan's strategy tomorrow when the two DGMOs are going to talk? And the second thing is that, as international media also reported, that Pakistan has Indian pilot in the custody. So do we have Indian pilot in our custody? And if we have, are we going to return her or him?
So I can confirm you very clearly, we don't have any pilot in custody. This is all social media chatter. This is all part of the multiple source of fake news and propaganda that keeps on, that has been generated from multiple sources. As far as your first question is concerned, let me say it very clearly and put it on record. Pakistan never requested. The fact of the matter is that on the night of 6th and 7th May, once those ghastly and cowardly attacks were made, the Indians requested after those attacks, and Pakistan gave a very clear response that we will communicate back only after we have given the response that this and retribution that this act deserves. So on 10th of May, after that response and retribution, that just retribution, targeting not the civilians, but those military establishments, those units, those places from where the attack on the civilians, the innocent civilians, the children was made, once they were neutralized and taken out. And on the request and intervention of the international interlocutors, we responded to the already made request of the Indians. And if you see publicly, what's on the public record? What I have shown you just now. What was the public position of the Ministry of Defense of the Indian Armed Forces? Who was asking for non-escalation once the just retribution of Pakistan Armed Forces have gone? So I think the record publicly, the facts speak for themselves. You want me to make public that what strategy are we going to adopt? For any threat, anything that they can pose, posture, your armed forces are always vigilant and ready. We have proved it on ground multiple times. We can prove it. So, and we don't respond. And we are not here for a response that what they said. And so it's not that what they said that I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we'll come to you after that.
Thank you very much. Saima Shabir from Arab News. Sir, my question is related to tomorrow's meeting by DGMOs. Pakistan has declared the suspension of Indus Water Treaty as an act of war. So if tomorrow on the agenda this Indus Water Treaty suspension is on the table and India does not call it off, I mean it does not regulate it again, and it is suspended till the time, so what would be the strategy by Pakistan army, because Pakistan has called it an act of war?
So the position of the government of Pakistan on the Indus Water Treaty is absolutely clear, and no further comment is needed on that. Our Turkish friend over here is raising his hands again and again. Skardu, okay. I thought you are from the Andolo news agency. Sir, many people thought I am Chinese. Yes. Khaplu, great place. Great place.
Sir, I am from Kapul Chwar at the border area, just a half hour from the Indian border.
Okay. Sir, I am from British. Okay. Sorry for the mistaken identity.
So we can go with the question. Sir, my question is that
अहमद मंसूर 24 न्यूज़ से ताल्लुक़ है। जनरल साहब, हमारी जो फोर्सेस की लीडरशिप है उसके लिए बहुत कुछ कहने को है, लेकिन मैं सिर्फ ये कहूँगा कि जो बॉडी लैंग्वेज स्ट्राइक्स आपने की हैं इस सारे कन्फ्लिक्ट में, उन्होंने भी बॉर्डर पर बड़ा कुछ हिला के रखा है। सवाल सर मेरा ये है कि मसला कश्मीर एक ऐसा है कि उसकी वजह से दो एटमी जो ताकतें हैं वो एक खौफनाक जंग पूरी दुनिया को हिला के रख देती है। इस दफ़ा फिर यही हुआ, और अभी जो सदर ट्रंप ने अभी जो दूसरा ट्वीट किया है उन्होंने मसला कश्मीर को एक मुतनाज़ा इलाका करार दिया है, उसका जिक्र मुतनाज़ा खित्ते के तौर पे किया है। तो इंडिया तो इसको अपने तौर पे इसको गैर मुतनाज़ा कहे बैठा है, लेकिन क्या ये एक बड़ा नादर मौका नहीं है, सुनहरी मौका नहीं है पाकिस्तान के पास कि अब इस जो कन्फ्लिक्ट के तनाज़र में, अब चूँकि दुनिया भी राब्ते में है, सबकी नज़रें हैं इस पर, तो पाकिस्तान दोबारा मसला कश्मीर को
Kashmir remains central to the dispute between India and Pakistan. And peace between India and Pakistan will always elude till the time there is not the resolution of the Kashmir as per the United Nations resolutions and as per the will of the people of Kashmir. So that is important to understand. Till the time that is not done, there cannot be enduring peace between India and Pakistan. So this military conflict has once again put Kashmir right as the flashpoint, which needs to be resolved, which needs to be as per the will of the people of the Kashmir. And you have alluded to the tweet and the international power, rightly understanding that this issue of Kashmir needs to be resolved. The problem here is that what we are seeing is, and I talked about it in my last press conference also, is that India continues to internalize this external problem. Kashmir is an external problem with Pakistan, India and the people of Kashmir. It is on the UNSC resolution. It's an internationally recognized dispute. And India is trying to internalize it. How? By trying to change the demography of Kashmir, by trying to change the legal status in violation of the UNSC resolutions and the international commitments that India has made, by the coercion and harassment of the people of illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and multiple other actions, by the oppression that is going on and the just and the just struggle of the people of Kashmir for their rights, and then on the pretext of law and order, on the pretext of terrorism, you are seeing what's happening even after Pahalgam in Kashmir. Houses of the people are being bulldozed, blasted. People are being taken into custody, not in dozens, but in hundreds, in thousands. You have got so much security forces, so many intelligence people, so much state power put in that very small place. The rights of the people, the plight of the women, the plight of the children. So it's an international issue. Talk it out, find a solution which satisfies the will of the people. So that is what needs to be done as far as Kashmir is concerned.
सर मोहम्मद इमरान सुनो न्यूज़ से सर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि क्या इंटरनेशनल गारंटीज दी गई हैं कि जो सीज़ फायर है वो कोई लंबे अरसे के लिए सस्टेन कर सकेगा?
You see, being the spokesperson of the armed forces of Pakistan, I can state with 200% certainty that the Pakistan armed forces are holding the line of control ceasefire. No violation is being made by Pakistan Army or the armed forces. Because we are a professional army and we strongly abide by the commitments that we make, and we follow in letter and spirit the orders of the political government. That's what the professional army does. Now, if you see in reality what's happening in Pakistan, Pakistan is celebrating peace. You go to the streets and towns of Pakistan, the Pakistanis are celebrating peace. Does it make any sense for Pakistan to start violating the commitment that we made? It doesn't make any sense. Because we are a peace-loving nation. Peace within and without. However, if there is any aggression, we will respond, and we respond then.
So thank you so much. My name is Raza. I'm from Iranian State News Agency. If you allow me, I have a question from the Honorable Vice Admiral. So thank you. So we have seen the activities of the Navy before the escalation and the readiness. As the Indian Navy P-81 was being closely tracked and even seen on media, why Pakistan Navy decided not to shoot it down? And you refer to the limitation facing by the Indian aircraft carrier. Keeping in view the limitation of the Indian aircraft carrier, can you please explain us why India have not brought its carrier to, for so-called possible attack?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question. Okay. First of all, like I told you that the war is not fought in isolation by a single service. So, whatever we do, it's a very well coordinated effort. So, all actions are calibrated amongst the three armed forces at what time, what is to be done. So, at that time, when that was the video of 4th and 5th of May, we just demonstrated that we were keeping a very close vigilance. And I've mentioned our, the very effective coordination and collaboration with Pakistan Air Force. So I'll not go into those details because of the operational security reasons. But essentially, that was simply to send across a message that if we can track, so we can go to the next level, but that is based on the national decision-making line. That's not an isolated. The Navy will always act in sync with the all three services, and that would be a national security decision-making thing. So when the time will come for that to happen, so inshallah we will respond in that fashion. The aircraft carrier, I mentioned, for example, we can have that slide, Kazim, if he's here. So this is the aircraft carrier which is having 8 to 12 MiG-29s, which is barely enough to carry out its own air defense.